Okay,
All right,
Judge.
this is case number 234458801. The people of the state of Michigan versus Darlenia Robinson. The defendant is charged with 1 count of stalking. Today is the day set for, today is not the day set. The jail has brought Ms. Robinson on for a tether violation. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
And Ryder Murad, P83665, on behalf of Ms. Robinson, who's in the Wayne County Jail on soon. Ms. Robinson, ma'am, when you can mute your device and state your full name for the record, please.
Carolina Felicia Robinson.
All right, today is the day set. Strike that again, I'm sorry. Today is a date that the jail has brought Ms. Robinson on for a tether violation. I'm looking at the tether violation notice. It says that, okay, somebody put a bond on her, 40,000 cash surety GPS tether. That's what's on this tether violation. But it says she was on the tether, and the violation, it says tampering, masking, or violation of house arrest. She violated she was outside of the house. And then the location found, the general location was showing 8 Mile in Charleston. They tried to contact her, but then they were unsuccessful. They went to the house and then they saw her getting out the car. She didn't know she had on a tether. Okay. And then they asked why they couldn't, why her traces were masked. And they said she reached down to her ankle and removed what appeared to be aluminum foil that was wrapped around the tether. Mr. Murad.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Judge, so, I had the chance to talk to Ms. Robinson a bit about this case. Her bond, I want the court to be aware, the bond was in fact reduced to a personal bond with tether by the chief judge. And with these cases, Your Honor, these tethers and these home confinement conditions, I think it's more so placed in the interest of keeping these parties apart. I think with that high bond, that was
not on a stalking case. It's in mind with keeping the person safe.
right. And in my opinion, Judge, well, I guess what I believe is to be the case is when they confine a defendant to their home who's charged of stalking, it's so to keep them away from a complaining witness or to keep them from reaching out to the complaining witness so the complaining witness doesn't worry about bumping into the defendant or any integrity of the case being altered with. In this particular matter, Judge, there was a bit of an unfortunate situation. Miss Robinson was confined to her home on tether, and she lives with her mother. She has a 17-year-old autistic brother. Tensions were high between her and her mother, Your Honor. She made a poor choice. Her poor choice was to get picked up by a friend to clear her head, to make sure no issue happened between her and her mother. Now, obviously, she knew she was on house arrest. Obviously, she knows that that's not appropriate. That's not, action she could engage in. But nonetheless, she made the poor choice, Judge. And that poor choice placed her in the Wayne County Jail. This is somebody with no prior criminal convictions, no prior capious history, never been charged with a felony. I'm not aware of any misdemeanors or anything else that she's been dealing with besides this case. And I'm happy, Judge, that this tether violation is not for her trying to talk to this complaining witness or alter the integrity of the case. This was from her making a poor choice, which was, do I stay at home and deal with the tension that's going on in my family, or do I leave and clear my head to make sure that, I don't engage in any behavior that may be detrimental to me or my family? And unfortunately, Judge, she picked the latter. Now, the court order confining her to her home trumps anything else. And we understand that and we acknowledge it. I just hope the court would consider allowing her to be released from jail. I think the sanction in itself is being placed in the Wayne County Jail, being picked up from your home. Now, she made a poor choice, Judge, but I think the time that she spent in the Wayne County Jail would be an appropriate sanction.
She ain't make no poor choice. You acting like she just got mad at her mother or whatever the situation was, left and went to cool off, and the police could find her easy. She is hanging around the wrong people, first of all, or her Google searches are untoward. She puts a, sir, you on camera, can you stop stretching and yawning in the courtroom? You in court. You in court. She put aluminum foil on her tether. Now tell me about that. Don't, because first of all, if I'm on tether to my mother's house, it ain't really much my mother can do to make I'm not even engaging my mother because this is where I gotta live. This is where I'm on tether to. I'm just minding my own business. And whatever my mother's saying, doing, I'm gonna do it because this is where I'm on tether to. All these opinions and stuff people having at somebody else's house, and you tethered to the house, it's whatever, whether I agree with it or not. But she put aluminum foil on her tether.
In Your Honor, it's hard to dispute your logic. I understand why the court's upset with Ms. Robinson. I get it. She didn't make, she did. She absolutely, those are the allegations. She did. Now, my whole thing, Judge, is about the appropriate sanction, about the appropriate punishment. Is this somebody who deserves to stay in the Wayne County Jail, or is this somebody who deserves one more opportunity to get out? And my argument, Your Honor, is not that her behavior was okay, but it's more so, where do we go from here? And what I think it would be best appropriate is to adopt the sanction that's already been in place, which is the few days that she spent in the Wayne County Jail, instead of keeping her in there, Your Honor. I'm not even asking the court to remove the tether. And Judge, I always ask the court to remove the tether, but I'm not asking the court to do that today. I'm just asking that Ms. Robinson have the opportunity to be released back to her home. It's not like the integrity.
To that same home that she walked away from because she fighting with her mother.
Absolutely, absolutely, Judge. And that's because nothing resulted in this fight. It was just tension. And she said, you know what, let me just walk away. Let me text my friend. I don't want to get in trouble. So like you said, Judge, maybe a Google search to somebody told her to put aluminum foil. Maybe the court's correct. Because guess what? If my friend called me and told me, hey, I'm on tether to my house, can you come pick me up? Because I'm going through it with my mom. I'm not, I might sit on his porch, but I'm not going to take him and help him violate the bond. So I agree with you, Your Honor. Maybe she is around the wrong people. But my whole argument is whether or not that should cause her to remain in the custody of the Wayne County Jail. It's not like there was any physical altercations with her mother. It gets tense, Judge. They're raising a 17.
So what's going to happen? It don't get tense. When I'm on a tether to my mother's house, this ain't my house. I'm on a tether to my mother's house. That's why it's too many opinions with people who live with other people. You live here. If you don't like what's going on here, get your own place. Move out. It's no conversation. Well, that's how I run my house. I'm sorry. It's no conversation about nothing going on in the house that I pay the bills for and you just living here.
Absolutely.
So and you on tether. And you on tether. So I'm not going to keep her. I apologize. Do the people have any position?
So Judge, just reading the tether violation, Your Honor, the people's position is that our main concern is the safety of the complaining witness in this matter, due to the fact that Ms. Robinson tried to mask her location tracking by putting aluminum foil on her tether, and that one of the general locations were near the complaining witness's home. As I did my own research on where the complaining witnesses lived, our main concern is just the safety, and Katie is for that issue, for the simple fact that the officers could not track where she was. So, Your Honor, the people believe that in this instance, the tether should not be removed. And if the court is inclined to amend the bond to no house arrest, I am going to ask for a curfew
I'm not amending the bond to no house arrest. She put aluminum foil on her tether.
Well, that's fine, Judge. I just want to make sure that the exclusionary zone is specific as to where the complainant witnesses live. Again, our main concern is the safety of the complainant witness.
All right, I'm going to amend the bond, but it's not going to be personal. And that same mother that she so mad that she had to leave the house from might be the one that had to come post her bond, but I don't know. So the court is going to amend the bond. And I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,000, 10% bond, plus a GPS tether with house arrest. And when is she scheduled to come before me?
I believe June 22nd, Your Honor, next week.
All right. If she's still in custody on June 22nd, then I'll readdress the motion if you want me to, in terms of the dollar amount of the bond. If nobody's gonna bring her $100 to get out of jail, then I'll address it on June 22nd.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is there any way I could be placed back in the breakout room with Ms. Robinson before they log off?
Of course. Let's see.